For years, we've been searching for a hole in the Viltrumites' armor.
Viltrumites never abandon their missions, yet one has. Viltrumites do not battle each other, but a son defies his father. These are weaknesses.
Mark gets acquainted to adopt to college life, only to get a call for a major intergalactic mission.
I should have stayed on the bus.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
Debbie grapples with the challenge of grief, only to be confronted with how deep the rabbit hole goes for her husband's betrayal.
Oh no.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
We're finally introduced to more members of the Coalition of Planets and an origin story for Alan. Before we begin, check out my Season 2 episodic breakdowns and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to be notified in everything in the world of
Invincible.
With the return of Seth Rogen's Alan the Alien and the return of some of pureblood Viltrumites, is that Thula? I'm praying Alan makes it out alive with need more Seth Rogen. But we might have a bigger problem. As Mark reaches Thorax to meet the monarch of the planet, he must face his fears. Now we know where Omni-Man fled to, but why did he abandon his post? Episode 3, The Missive, The Machination. It's the first day of college, a hard time for any parents, but particularly difficult for Debbie with her husband gone and now Mark leaving to pursue greater things. She's left alone as she goes through the stages of grief. First being denial, refusal to see what was in front of her, and now anger.
Anger is a part of it.
Next, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. With no one around to help her, she seeks refuge towards the support group Olga shared with her. But as all support groups are, you must remain anonymous, so no last name.
No last names, Debbie.
Mark is learning all the college rules and the significance of a sock on a doorknob. Not sure why it isn't a tie.
Oh, Leonard, you magnificent beast.
Struggling to let go of his childhood and his childhood hero, which in this case, the Seance Dog action figure, Seance Dog in the comics, but now an adaptation of Doctor Strange, even comes with his giant squid cyclops, Gargantos. And just like Toy Story, when Andy moved to college, his toys ended up in the dumpster. Well, not Woody.
Whatever you are, be a good one. You are a toy!
In William Dorm's room, in this reality, we see his heroes, Magnum Pie, Lady Yaya, and Little Bass X. Like all horny college students, a DTF poster, because we're all down to...
You're down to fuck.
Jumping straight to Mark losing his cherry. In my head, I thought Amber was in for a rough night like in my Super Ex-Girlfriend. Straight from the comic books, after the fornication, the narrator passes the story onto the origins of Alan. Turns out his world, Europa, was invaded by Viltrumites and what looks like younger Omni-Man. The Utopians tried fighting back, designing weapons that use null energy, similar to what Robot used against Omni-Man. But that doesn't fare too well. And before conquering a small group of Utopians escape. To tackle the Viltrumites army, the race genetically bred and mutated their young. A super soldier program similar to Halo UNSC Spartans, going through experimental and physical enhancements, which brought us Alan the Champion. Like the Mutant X program from Dr. Stryker in X-Men, thank God Alan didn't turn out like this. But he was still no match against a Viltrumite, so joins the Coalition. The Coalition of Planets formed with the primary goal of countering the expansion of the Viltrum Empire. The intergalactic group, uniting species from other worlds, which includes a member of Battle Beast's race. One thing's for sure, we know the Beast is strong. Now, in the comics, the leader of the rebellion, Thaedus the Great Betrayer, a Viltrumite himself, the creator of the Scourge virus, aimed to conquer the Viltrumite army. Voiced by Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime himself,
The Viltrumite campaign has become the scourge of the galaxy.
Alan the Alien shares the knowledge he learned from Urath.
Urath? This is Earth!
Okay, Earth, to the rest of the Coalition. The kink in the Viltrumites' Empire's armor, and...
Invincible.
Being the best chance against the galactic threat. There's a mole within the Coalition feeding info to the Viltrumites' Empire. Alan is tasked of finding the culprit, but it's too late, as the Empire strikes back. Going straight for Alan's throat, literally. 3 veterans from the Empire, one of which, Thula, who we saw as part of the Great Purge, where Throg, the leader of the Viltrumites, initiated a brutal and widespread campaign to eliminate individuals who are not fully Viltrumite to strengthen and purify the bloodline, hence the Purge. Now Thula has a knife attached to her braided hair.
Get over here!
And who is the mole in the coalition? Thaddeus. Once a betrayer, always a betrayer. Ending the episode for Alan. Back on Earth with the Guardians of the Globe, Duplicate talks about her relationship with Immortal, a somewhat emotional and brutal connection as they have both died multiple times in battle and brought back to life. Before Shapesmith cuts the tension with his antics, still learning what it is to act normal, but ends up doing the complete opposite.
For real? Where are you from?
Robot is still learning on his new body and his brain, reminiscent of Killian in Iron Man 3, until Monster Girl walks in and Rudy gets a jolt of blood rushed to his brain, maybe somewhere else.
Did you get hard on because the pretty girl spoke to you?
Can you fuck off?
Ah, he's flustered from his crush, but still manages to get a date. Robot discovered taste for the first time, but is better than how he used to eat.
Food through his butt.
But if South Park has taught us anything,
Carmen shoved his lunch up his ass and crapped out his mouth.
Debbie joins the ex-wife club called Spouses of Superheroes, a support group like we have seen in Avengers and The Boys. But she learns quickly how devastating the ripple is of her husband massacre of the Guardians, befriending the husband of the deceased Green Ghost.
Oh no.
Debbie breaks down and reveals her identity, pleading for forgiveness, almost bargaining, the third stage of grief, but is shunned from the group. Back to how she was at the start of the episode, alone. Back at the dorm room, William shares how screwed up he is from what happened to Rick. Remember, Rick turned cyborg and was turned into an abominable Reaniman. Mark was able to save him with his body restored in the hands of the GDA. Before a knock on the door.
It's for you.
It's Seance Dog, or is it? It's a Therax, disguised as Mark's childhood hero, like Ego, the living planet, did for Peter in The Guardians, convincing Mark he is from the multiverse, not this time, but I'm sure his multiversal threat will come after.
Invincible.
Soon. From the comics, Therax's age very quickly, having a shelf life of 9 months, which makes sense why.
The journey to your world has taken me most of my life.
But he must have had his eye on Mark for some time to be able to dress up as his hero. This must be a trap. Mark agrees to answer the distress call, obeying Cecil, after he states the similarities his father.
Your father felt the same way.
Mark is still wanting to prove his heroism, and it looks like Amber is starting to understand the responsibilities of a hero. But he is cutting off his connection with Cecil, his mother, and now Amber. Just like Iron Man was before the Avengers headed out into space, Mark is lured to meet the Emperor of the planet, their monarch, none other than Mark's father, Omni-Man. Watch out for episode 4, which I will be doing a full breakdown on.
Dad?
Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to check out my other videos on the channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe.